What is good, guys? And today I will be predicting my Premier League predictions for the 2024-2025 season. And what a good way to start off with the from the bottom to up. Or should we? I don't know, man. I don't know how we should do this, but I think I should just do it my way. Just do whatever. Um, we'll do it in order here. Starting off with Arsenal. They got second place, barely losing the Premier League. They haven't really made any signings. The only signing they made was Calafiori, the Italian center back that popped off in the Euros. They bought him, and oh god, and that's really it. To be fair, I think they're gonna get better because their squad is young, really young. They didn't really lose anyone. I think the only players they lost Smith Rowe and Mohamed Al-Ani, and that's basically it that I remember. So I think they'll be between second and fourth, around there. I think second, behind probably which the club that most people put in as their champions. Next is Bournemouth. Interesting club. They made a couple signings. They signed this Spanish center back from Juventus. I don't know how to pronounce his name. They also signed, recently just signed today, Evan Nilsson from Porto. They signed Julian Araujo from Barcelona. And they signed, I forget who they signed. I think, let me just check real quick. Forgetting his name. Oh yeah, they signed Enes Unal, and then they also signed Daniel Jefferson. But they all have a lot of key players. They have Tyler Adams, Lewis Cook. They have a decent defense, a mid-table club. They're probably their better players, Antoine, Semenyo. So I think I'll have them lower mid-table. I think higher of the lower mid-table. I think 13th, 14th is a good spot for them. I don't know. I think this is what I have my gut feeling based on looking at the squad, and they have a good manager as well. So we'll see. Aston Villa. Well, Aston Villa. Hear me out. They made UCL football. But you know what will happen with Newcastle when they made UCL football? Let's be real here. They lost Douglas Luiz and Diaby. They made key signings. To be fair, they signed Ian Matson. I think they got Ross Barkley, from loan, back from loan. They have Amadou Nana. They just signed him. Enzo Bernchel. They signed Samuel Elaine Jr. Elaine Jr. I don't know how to pronounce the name. And they still have Ollie Watkins. And their midfield stacked. I mean, Joey Tillemans, John McGinn, Leon Bailey, then Leander Dendoncker, Jacob Ramsey, Boubacar Kamara. I mean, their defense too. I think they might lose Diego Carlos from rumors I've heard, but the squad is just great. To be fair, I think they're gonna drop down though to 7th or 8th. I think 7th Conference League. They'll drop a bit. Next is Brentford, who I think will be a mid-table club. I mean, they have a pretty valuable squad. As long as they keep Ivan Toney, they'll be fine from relegation. I mean, I don't think they'll relegate in general. They made a couple signings though as well. They signed Thiago from Club Brugge. They signed Fabio Carvalho from Liverpool. They got Stuart Anderson. they've signed Stuart Anderson, Armstrong. Oh my God, why am I saying Anderson? Armstrong from Southampton. I think those are decent signings. I think Fabio Carvalho is a good signing. They have a pretty good midfield in general. They still have Brian Mbeumo. As long as they keep Ivan Toney, to be fair. Their defense is solid. They have Ben Mee and Ethan Pinnock. Honestly, I think mid-table would be ideal, between 10th and 12th, to be fair. But I think that's where they end up. Brian, I think 10th. They'll end up 10th or 9th or 11th, anywhere there between 9th to 11th. They have a good squad, but I feel like, I don't know, they're missing something. They haven't really made signings, I don't think. Well, I'm looking, and the only new player is Mats Pfeiffer from Feyenoord. I don't know. Doesn't convince me. They lost Pascal Gross. And I don't know, man. At least they kept Mitoma. They kept Evan Ferguson. They kept a lot of key players for the most part, and they have a good squad. So I think that is just a good place to be. I think that's fair. Chelsea's interesting. They have a really good manager, Enzo Maresca from Leicester. But they have so many players. Oh my God. They signed so many. I'm not naming all of them, to be fair. But it's just too many players. Too much squad depth. And to be fair, this might be a good and bad thing. It looks like they're getting rid of Conor Gallagher, but I feel like the top bully doesn't really know what he's doing. I feel like he's just throwing money at players, at clubs, and offering without knowing, because they were gonna sign a center back from Atletico Madrid, and then the contract fell through or something, and then now they're trying to get another player from the club, and from a center back to a striker, which necessarily means that it's just weird. Now they're trying to sign Yao Felix, and I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. I think Lukaku's also supposed to be sold. A lot of players supposed to be sold. There's so much depth. It's not even funny. I think a lot of them are gonna get loaned and sold. It's just, I think realistically, I think they're gonna be Europa League. I think better than before. I think they'll be 5th. Only because I don't think they'll be better than the other 4 teams that I think will end up there. Next is Crystal Palace. I think they'll fall off a bit, only because they lost Michael Olise. But for the most part, I think they've stayed the same. I don't know what to say. Besides, they kept Eze. They signed this Raul Batiste center. Center back. They signed Shadi Riyad. They signed Diachi Kamara, who was really good for Frankfurt, who had a little bit of a downfall at Lazio, but it's the same manager he was with. At Frankfurt, so his season might be able to turn around. They signed Ismail Sarr. I don't know. They just have a good team in general. Honestly, I think mid-table the same, but I think they're gonna fall off a bit. Yeah, I say 11th or 12th. Around there, I might switch Brentford around. Next is Everton, and hear me out. They lost key players. They lost Amado Onana. And their team's not even that good. They did good last year. If it wasn't for that point deduction, they would have got 12th or 13th. But man, I just don't see that anything good happening for this team. They signed Iliman Yaya, never heard of that man. They signed Lindstrom, I've heard of this guy. He played for Napoli and Frankfurt. It's pretty good for them. It's just mid squad in general. Just an old squad. I think 14th is what I have him. 14th. Next, Southampton. I think in dead last. No comment. They signed Brighton Diaz, and then they lost their best a lot of key players. So I don't know. I just see them going 20th. Fulham. They lost their best player as well, João Paulinho. But I don't think they've made any signings either. Yeah, they haven't. I don't think they have. They lost Tim Ream. They got Ryan Sessegnon. But I don't know, this team. It's just complicated. Complicated team. I don't know what to say about this team. Fulham is just. I don't think Fulham's just mid-table, screams mid-table right now. I don't see nothing going on for them. They just lost today against Man United, the last minute winner, which isn't the worst, to be fair. I don't know. They haven't really made any signings either. Besides Smith Rowe, and that's it. They lost Tosin Adebayo. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'm not even gonna try. But that's really it. And I don't know. I think they'll be I don't know if they'll be higher mid table or lower. I'll put them higher. Or no, I'll put them lower. Lower mid table. Only lower. The other team that's gonna get relegated for me is Ipswich Town. They're gonna end up going 18th. And then 19th is gonna be Leicester. Yeah, I think the 3 teams that got promoted will get relegated. Yep. I think it's happening. Next, I think the next is Liverpool. I think they'll be 3rd. Not many key signings they've made. Apart from losing Fabio Carvalho and I think they got a new manager. So excited what he can bring. No discussion for that. They win it every year. As long as they have Pep Guardiola, these four people, as long as they have Pep Guardiola, Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, and Haaland, they'll be fine. None of this. Next is Man United. I'll have them 6. Better than last year. I think the players they brought in are good business. They brought in Mazraoui, great right back, a replacement for Wan-Bissaka. They got the replacement for Moran, even though they have Martinez and Maguire. A lot of center backs. And they brought in Xerxes. I don't know why they have 2 strikers now. They brought in Lenny Yoro, and they have 4 center backs, man. It's a lot. And they should have signed a midfielder. I think that's what it needed. But I don't think they have done that at all. So that's what I have. So Newcastle is next. I think ninth. They're going to be 9th. I think they're going to fall off a bit. And no reasoning why. Next is Nottingham Forest. I think they're going to barely survive. Just barely. And my next team... Spurs. Spurs are going to be 4th. I have hopes for them. And then my last team will be... I think West Ham will be 8th. They're a good team. They just got a new coach. A lot of great players they signed. They signed Max Kilman, I believe. Somerville. Great championship winger. Who else they signed? Missing some. Fulkrug. They signed Fulkrug, Guido Rodriguez from Betis. Great DM for Argentina and Betis. Who else they signed? I think Wan-Bissaka was also a great signing. And Todibo. I think they'll be 8th for the most part. Next is Wolves, and I think they'll be 16th. I don't know. I just don't see them doing is that good next season. Only because they lost Pedro Neto and Kilman and they haven't really made any signings. And there's like a week and two left, and how it's looking, it's not looking too great for them. If it wasn't for that, I would have him 13th or 12th, but now I have him like barely scrapping, barely survive. And I think everything's good, right? I think that's how I would have it. Yeah, I think everything is perfect. I have Man City first, second will be Arsenal, third will be Liverpool, fourth will be Spurs, fifth will be Chelsea, sixth Man United, seven Aston Villa, eight West Ham, ninth will be Newcastle, then Brighton the 10th, then Palace at 11th, Brentford at 12th, 13th I would have Bournemouth, 14th Fulham, 15th Everton, 16th Wolves, 17th Forest, 18th Ipswich, 19th Leicester, and last place out for Southampton. Honestly, I think that's a great prediction. We'll see what happens, and hopefully this is a very entertaining Premier League experience this year. And stay tuned for my next video, because I will do a La Liga prediction, of course. And that's it. See you.